During the inauguration festivities in downtown Washington, D.C., some supporters of Donald Trump encountered a surprising sight that prompted them to capture the moment with their cameras. On a bright Sunday morning, one enthusiastic onlooker pointed to a notable sign atop the Canadian Embassy, which read, "Canada congratulates Donald Trump." This sign was prominently displayed alongside large, vibrant maple leaf flags that adorned the embassy, creating a striking visual against the backdrop of Pennsylvania Avenue. While the Canadian Prime Minister was not present to personally extend congratulations, the embassy was expected to host more than 1,500 attendees for its quadrennial inauguration celebration scheduled for the following day, Monday. This gathering traditionally serves as a focal point for Canadians and friends of Canada in the U.S. to come together and celebrate the occasion. However, this year's event was shaping up to be quite different from previous celebrations. The absence of the customary parade along Pennsylvania Avenue, due to inclement weather, was just one of the many factors contributing to the unusual nature of this year's festivities. Historically, the parade is a significant highlight of the inauguration, drawing large crowds and generating a vibrant atmosphere. Its cancellation meant that many of the anticipated celebratory aspects would be missing, leading to a more subdued environment. This year also marked a significant milestone. It was the first time since the Canadian Embassy opened its doors at this prime location near Capitol Hill in 1989 that no formal festivities would be held in the traditional manner. The embassy, strategically positioned to foster diplomatic relations and cultural exchanges, had always been a hub for Canadians living in the U.S. and for Americans interested in Canadian culture. The lack of live festivities this time around felt like a departure from the norm, highlighting the unique challenges and circumstances surrounding the current political climate. The Canadian Embassy has long stood as a symbol of the strong ties between Canada and the United States. Over the years, it has hosted countless events, bringing together dignitaries, members of the community, and citizens eager to celebrate the democratic processes of both nations. The quadrennial Inauguration Day party has been a cherished tradition, showcasing Canadian hospitality and fostering goodwill among attendees. As the hours passed and the inauguration approached, the sense of anticipation was palpable, even amid the unorthodox circumstances. Attendees reminisced about past celebrations, recalling the lively conversations, the exchange of ideas, and the spirit of camaraderie that characterized those gatherings. With the absence of a parade and formal festivities, many wondered how the embassy would adapt to create an engaging experience for guests. In light of these changes, the Canadian Embassy team had been working diligently to ensure that the spirit of celebration would still be felt, even if the format was different. Innovative ideas were being proposed to connect with attendees, both in person and virtually, allowing for an inclusive environment that transcended the limitations imposed by weather and tradition. From virtual toasts to online discussions featuring prominent speakers, the embassy sought to create a sense of unity and connection, reinforcing the enduring ties between the two nations. During the inauguration festivities in Washington, D.C., a curious scene unfolded as a group of Donald Trump supporters took a moment to capture a unique sight. The atmosphere was charged with excitement, and as they wandered through the bustling streets of the Capitol, one supporter shouted in delight, "Canada congratulates Donald Trump." His voice carried over the sounds of the crowd, drawing attention to a prominent sign displayed at the Canadian Embassy. This sign was not just a simple message. It was flanked by massive flags adorned with the iconic maple leaf, symbolizing Canada's national pride. Located along Pennsylvania Avenue, the embassy served as a backdrop for this spontaneous celebration. While the Canadian Prime Minister was not present to personally greet attendees, the embassy was still buzzing with activity. Reports indicated that over 1,500 guests were expected to attend Canada's traditional Inauguration Day gathering, a popular event that takes place every 4 years. This gathering has become a staple for Canadians and their friends in Washington, offering a chance to celebrate their national identity while engaging in the political festivities of the United States. However, this year's event was particularly unusual. The absence of the customary parade along Pennsylvania Avenue, primarily due to inclement weather, contributed to a sense of unpredictability surrounding the celebrations. Typically, this parade serves as a focal point for many, drawing crowds eager to witness the spectacle of a new administration taking office. The rain and cold temperatures, which can often dampen spirits, further complicated the plans and altered the usual festivities. Adding to the strangeness of the occasion was the fact that it marked a significant milestone for the Canadian Embassy. Since its establishment in 1989, the embassy had enjoyed a prime location near Capitol Hill, where it hosted formal celebrations that allowed attendees to witness the inauguration proceedings live. This year, however, was different. It was the first time that no formal festivities were planned for the embassy's traditional party. The lack of live events and the changed format of the gathering underscored the shifting landscape of political celebrations in the current climate. The attendees at the embassy found themselves navigating a unique blend of emotions. While many were excited to be part of the inauguration festivities, the absence of traditional elements, like the parade and live celebrations, left a bittersweet taste. Conversations buzzed with a mix of hope and uncertainty as people reflected on the significance of the day. Some engaged in lively discussions about the implications of the new administration, while others simply enjoyed the camaraderie of fellow Canadians and supporters. This unexpected turn of events also highlighted a broader theme: the evolving nature of political celebrations in an era marked by rapid change. The pandemic had already transformed how people gathered and celebrated, and now, weather-related issues were adding another layer of complexity. Many wondered how these changes would affect future celebrations and the way citizens engage with political milestones. As the day progressed, the atmosphere at the Canadian Embassy took on a celebratory yet reflective tone. Guests mingled, sharing stories and experiences from previous inaugurations, reminiscing about the excitement of parades and live performances. They exchanged thoughts about what this year's gathering meant for their community and the relationship between Canada and the United States. The spirit of unity and shared identity was palpable, even in the absence of traditional festivities. Despite the unusual circumstances, the attendees made the most of their time together. They posed for photos, raised glasses and toasts, and embraced the opportunity to connect with one another. The maple leaf flags fluttered in the chilly breeze, serving as a reminder of their shared heritage and the bonds that link them across borders. In moments of laughter and conversation, they found joy amidst the uncertainty. As the evening wore on, the discussion shifted toward the future. Many attendees expressed optimism about the new administration and its potential impact on U.S.-Canada relations. The shared values and interests between the two nations were often highlighted, with people expressing hope for continued collaboration in areas such as trade, environmental policy, and security. In conclusion, the Inauguration Day festivities at the Canadian Embassy in Washington, D.C., captured a moment in time that was both reflective and forward-looking. While the absence of traditional celebrations and the parade created a sense of unease, the resilience and camaraderie of the attendees shone through. As they gathered to celebrate their identity and the political moment, they embraced the unpredictability of the day, reminding one another that, regardless of the circumstances, their community would continue to thrive. The spirit of celebration, even in atypical conditions, reinforced the idea that connection and shared experiences remain at the heart of any gathering, especially in times of change.